Hello, welcome back to another video. This time we're looking at the fund token on Gate.io. This microcap is available on certain exchanges. I've got the Gate.io chart up in front of me, and I'll be plotting horizontal levels here. With such a coin that moves really erratically, I personally do struggle to find consistent support and resistance lines. But this is where EngineeringRobo really comes into play here. So I've taken a view from, let's say, July 2023 to April 2025, and these are the levels that I have plotted. But if I look back, this coin has really been fluctuating with a all-time high back in March 2021, April 2021, sorry, of just over 6.5 cents. So 0.067570 on Gate.io. So this coin has been pumping recently. What should we be doing now if we are monitoring or looking at this coin? Let's bring in EngineeringRobo to give us an indication to let us know what the AI indicator is telling us. So I've switched on two of the settings at the moment. One is the dashboard and the other one is the AI signal. Let's start with the dashboard. So if you see my previous videos, I use the watch framework where we've got W stands for wallets or smart money, A for AI signal, T for trendline break, C for cloud, and H for high intelligence score. So I will go through each of these one by one, starting with a trendline break. So that's a traditional trendline to see if anything has happened in that regard. This must have been from my previous setting. I'll just turn that to, let's just make it white and a straight one. So we do have an AI buy signal. We do have smart money in, and our trend line is still intact, i.e. there's no trend line break for us to have 3 out of 5 confluences for us to consider selling this. That's if we are already in this trade. We do have a multi-time frame of it being bullish. We still have weekly and daily being bullish, but the smaller time frames are actually neutral, with the 15-minute time frame being bearish. So I will come on to share the significance of that in a moment. So we've had the wallets that are still in, no trendline breaks, and the AI signal printed. So we wouldn't be going long now. It's just an indication. If you were already long, you could consider still holding or taking some of your position out, because we've, according to traditional trend lines, we have seen price react around 0.008. So what I actually want to now bring in is the cloud. I suspect that is still bullish, and I also want to bring in the intelligence score, and I'll switch on the orange support resistant line in a minute. So we can see that on the smaller, on the daily time frame, the cloud has pivoted from red straight into green. It's not actually quite thick at the moment, but price is pulling back to potentially test this cloud or this area here, which is kind of healthy for decent price action. The intelligence score has just jumped off the screen. Now that we've looked at the cloud, I'm going to switch the cloud off and I will bring in the orange support and resistance lines. So high intelligence score, we always want to see a healthy, green, positive, high intelligence score. This means that there's still great sentiment across the market. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there wasn't apparent levels that I could identify from a coin that really fluctuates quite considerably. This is where EngineeringRobo AI really comes into play, in the sense that it can identify key levels based on past data and previous price action to give us an indication of where price has reacted. So the top of the wicks here has been a key level, as has the orange resistance line at the top, or let's call that red for now. and price has reacted going down. So to sum up, if one was in this coin from the very bottom, our signal from EngineeringRobo AI perspective printed on March the 29th, and had you held up to a conservative level, not even the top level of the previous high, one would have made a 90% gain on this coin. Right to the maximum top, which is always a push, is almost 155% potential profit from the AI signal solely on the daily. Obviously, we didn't make a video when the AI signal was printed, and we would have wanted certain confluences before we would have considered entering this trade. But price has moved quite a lot. So let's actually see what the fund token is telling us on the smaller time frame. So by the smaller time frame, I do mean the 3 hour, and then eventually we will go down into the where is it? It is, there we go. We'll go on to the 45-minute time frame in a moment. So just want to see how price is reacting on the 3 hour time frame. And we can see that it's really butting up against my first momentum trend line. And what I can, let me just move this around the dashboard. Interesting. Take profit, AI signal, that's good. So let's move that to the top left, keep it normal size, and we'll keep everything in at the moment. So I want to make sure that we are considering, we've had an AI take profit signal being printed on the Saturday, 5th of April. So this was over the weekend. I'm filming this on Monday, the 7th of April, and price has been reacting across these levels where price hasn't broken out of. So we've had an AI take profit signal, which could indicate a turn of momentum and a shift potentially downwards. So we don't have a sell signal just yet on the 3 hour, but we do have points of interest that I do want to call out. The orange resistance line is acting as resistance. The AI take profit signal, that's also been triggered on the 3 hour, and we have an AI buy signal still in play. We don't have smart money out of this coin at the moment, so I wouldn't want to be looking at the 3 hour time frame as a potential shorting opportunity. Having said that, a point of note is the change of the color candles. We can see that the indicator has a feature where candle colors turn from red to green, and then when we sense a potential shift of momentum, the candles themselves go gray. So this could be an indication of price turning and going in a different direction. So that's the 3 hour, no AI take profit signal here. If I just do a quick recap in terms of the watch framework, smart money still in, AI buy signal still in place, trend line still intact. We didn't look on the cloud for this time frame, but we have seen that the intelligence score is still green, but it's not 5 as we saw on the daily time frame. So this potentially could be turning, but a green 3 is good enough for now. Obviously, we wouldn't be considering entering at this stage. I'm highlighting this in the fact that you should potentially be considering taking profits. But what if you were on the other side of the fence and considering a short position? So on the 45-minute time frame is pretty much the same story, where we have the resistance line coming into play. We do have an AI buy signal in play at the moment, and we have had a previous AI sell signal. So to me, on this smaller time frame, we are getting a change of momentum. We can see that the earlier AI take profit signal was printed, and from the earlier AI buy signal from the 3rd of April, where we've seen recent volatility, it could be a time to consider going short. So the AI intelligence score is on a 3 on this time frame. We are bearish on the 15-minute, neutral as before, but bullish on the bigger time frames. The trend line that we drew earlier is still in play. We can see that on the smaller time frames that momentum is actually dropping on this. If I was going to draw a trend line here, probably wouldn't do that, not on this time frame. Or if I were going to draw a trend line there, we can see that price is now beginning to struggle. If I draw a horizontal trend line underneath this recent low, we can see that it's actually breaking. There's a couple of other points where price would need to hold. Again, it's beginning to struggle. No AI sell signal at the moment, but we are again seeing the grey momentum lines. For completeness, let's have a look on the 15-minute time frame. It's something that I don't usually do on the YouTube videos, but with the fund token actually being quite volatile recently, and one of the very few tokens that smart money is still in, it is still worth considering on a smaller time frame. So if I'm looking at a trend line, wouldn't draw one there, I would draw one here. We can see that it struggled. You can see that it's actually struggling and breaking down now. Now, this is what I was referring to before. The intelligence score is a minus or a red 5 at the moment. An AI sell signal is in play, where we can see the indicator has triggered a sell, and it is at a price point where this level of 0.07345 really needs to hold. The other indicator I do want to bring on is the HODL line. There's a lot going on now, so I do appreciate that. So we've had a look at the dashboard, we've had a look at the social intelligence score, and let's bring on, so I've got the HODL line on, and then I'll take a look at the cloud signal in a moment. In the meantime, I'll get rid of the trend lines, just clean it up a bit. It's taking a while to load. I think TradingView is being quite slow at the moment. So yeah, so the HODL line is a mixture of different moving averages and numerous calculations, and we can see that price is actually under the HODL line. So another weak signal there in terms of how we are looking on the fund token. So with the smaller time frames becoming weaker, it could cascade to the bigger time frames also becoming weaker. So it's something to bear in mind. If price does pump up to 0.048, we do want to make sure that there would be another small trend line break, and when price comes down, that's where you could potentially consider another short. The AI signal is in play. We do have a trend line break from the previous trend. The intelligence score is still quite low on this time frame. So if one was to track on the 15-minute time frame, a sell is in play at the moment. I'll leave you with those thoughts. Hopefully you found this video interesting, and I'll see you again on the next one.